What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are returning to the chaos happening outside of Moon as we continue our coverage of Moon Gundam. Last time, the Light Tribe and Neo Zeon boarded the Raw Gills and started looking for Minavazabi. Captain Gennaro threatened to use G3 plus gas, but then Amuro Ray and the Raw Zaim crew came in to help out. In this episode, Amuro goes up against Jutta, and Luz sets off a timer containing the G3 gas. So let's get into this. Agos protests to allowing Jutta to go fight against Amuro, but his comrade Oval grabs his shoulder and gives him a look that says, "Now's not the time, bro." Gennaro asks Jutta again, what is he willing to fight for? Many of their men are ready to give their lives for Zeon's cause. What is Jutta willing to die for? Is he willing to protect the princess? That is when Luz pops out and makes his presence known on the Raw Gills PA system. He agrees with Agos. He has to go out there and do what he did last time, pose as an EFF soldier and try to kill Amuro Ray. Salon is doing his best R2-D2 impression and hacking into the ship. This is Yutta's real test to see if he will be a true warrior. He tells him that Amuro is the first new type, so it isn't an even fight. Renault buds in and reminds Jutta that he is still a member of the Light Tribe and there is truth to fighting genuinely. Luz cuts him off. He doesn't have time to play with their make-believe ideals, but Mineva comes rushing in and does a floating tackle towards Luz. He grabs the comms and tells Jutta he doesn't have to fight. They realize that Luz has the princess, so why not get out of here? Luz says the ship is sealed off. The only way is for Jutta to take them on. After this statement was made, we will see that the ship was indeed not sealed off. Saphira suggests that they give it up. This Luz guy clearly doesn't care about you or your men, she says. Jutta thinks that Luz is using Gennaro and her men, so why follow those orders? She says that sometimes in the military, you have to follow orders. But it is important in those moments to remember why you do this. There are things more valuable in life. They all touch their Neo Zeon seal. They are all fighting for something bigger than themselves. Jutta thinks about his grandfather, about helping Mineva. He screams out, "I will do this my own way," and he runs out. He gets into the Gundam and transfers comms to Luz. Luz contacts the Raw Zaim crew and informs them that they have an issue with their Minovsky particle dispersion system. Comms aren't working, along with their laser-guided systems. He says to use the Gundam as a guide to enter the hangar. Amuro notices Moon Gundam and wonders what Bright is keeping from him. He thinks that Bright lied to him about there being a Gundam to use. As Amuro approaches the hangar, Jutta tells him his name and proceeds firing. The two engage in battle. Jutta unleashes his psychoplates and deflects Amuro's beam attacks. Amuro realizes this is just like the Gundam when fighting against the Titan remnants. Salon knocked out Mineva. Luz whispers to her that her knight is going to die. As they watch the battle, Gennaro realizes that both Agos and Renault are gone. Somewhere else in the ship, Renault points a gun at Agos. He thinks he is abandoning his post, but he is trying to find a way to get rid of the gas canisters. Renault uses the sword to wedge open the door, and the two go into action. Back on the battlefield, Jutta makes a sweet shuriken form with his psychoplates. Jutta realizes that Amuro is relentless. Amuro notes that the Gundam pilot is terrible with the rifle, but his movements with the psychoplates is something he didn't see last time he fought with this unit. Amuro's two men in the Jettas note that Amuro is fighting. They notice Morse code from the Raw Zaim crew. It is Captain Lauro. The Jettas come around to the bow of the ship. Neo Zeon realizes that they have a leak sending a message. Luz prepares to make his exit. Moonlight reflects on the Moon Gundam, and he gets a second wind. He charges in and begins melee fighting. He tries to communicate with Amuro, and he tells him that they have to keep fighting or the ship will be destroyed. The psychoplates spin around the two units. Amuro is able to understand Jutta. He realizes that G3 is in play. Even Luz is able to sense Jutta. Luz finally understands the true purpose of the psychoplates. They are resonating amplification devices. You could send the plates all over the battlefield to use your new type powers to communicate with everyone. This allows you to truly let everyone's emotions stay in sync. This was a curveball for Luz. He decides to play the role of the bad guy and unleashes gas. Outside of the ship, Renault and Agos realize it is too late. A 5-minute countdown begins. Agos informs Gennaro of the timer. They prepare to get everyone off. Saphira knows there isn't enough time. That is when Luz comes back on the comms and tells everyone that he thanks them for their sacrifice they are about to make. He sigs at Zeon and hangs up. There really isn't anything Agos could do in the next 4 minutes that is left. The only solution is that Luz has a release mechanism on him. He realizes that Renault just bailed. He laughs it off and says that's natural. He hopes Jutta makes it out safe. He seems to kind of resign himself to death in this moment. Defeated, Gennaro releases Saphira and gives her a gun, thinking it is useless. But she says that she could do whatever she wants. Not that she's going to live. Saphira says okay and holds a gun to Gennaro's face. She informs the Raw Gills crew to abandon ship. She contacts Jutta and informs him about the G3 gas situation. As Luce makes his leave with Minerva, he happens to run into Renault. He teases him about leaving his post and talks about how the Licht family hides so much from Sarasa, who lives in a paradise. What happens when the Moon Princess learns the truth? Salon comes in for the attack, but Renault blocks it with the sword. Salon does the Hato equivalent of the skull emoji. He yells he is a protector of Moon. He will be taking any deactivation switch and Minerva with him. The Dagdal's Mono Eye activates. Luce says that he has backup. He reveals that Renault is also Raymel. A plume of energy erupts between the two. Luce fired a funnel next to Renault, blowing a hole in the Raw Gills. Renault uses his sword to get his grip. He sees Minerva falling and tries to reach for her, but the Dagdal gets to her first. Luce gets into the Dagdal and tells Renault to bow to their new king of Moon as he takes off with Minerva. 2 minutes and 28 seconds remain. The Jetta pilots confirm that there is G3 gas on the ship. Saphira tells Jutta that he must use the beam rifle to snipe the canisters off. Amuro is starting to understand the situation. He tells Jutta to follow him. Gennaro asks why isn't Saphira running. She believes in the power of the new types. Gennaro has come across many new types and cyber new types, and she knows that they aren't miracle workers. Saphira wants to believe in the miracle that new types can perform. Amuro says that the Gundam can emit a chi, or ki, or energy, whatever word you want to use, and that you can sense it. Jutta is able to sense Amuro, his past, his pain, his enemies. He senses the first new type. He sends a few psychoplates to orbit around Amuro's Rick DJ. Agos gets in contact with Gennaro. She tells him to get out. She tells everyone to get out. No one is an enemy at this moment. Survival is all that matters. Those who survive will essentially have to swim back to Moon in a normal suit and hope for the best. Agos doesn't want to leave the captain, but this is what the captain must do. She says to meet up with Oval and the rest, but Oval and the rest are behind her. Oval takes the comms and tells Agos to get out of here and cuts communication. Neo Zeon plans on going down with their mom. Saphira scoffs at them for not trying to save themselves. Oval tells her she is wrong. He says everyone has their own way of making sense of things, and it's best that you stay out of it. There is a huge bond between Neo Zeon and the captain, something that probably can't be put into words, but it is none of Saphira's business. And according to the writer of this manga, it isn't our business either. Let it go and get the hell out of here, Oval says. Jutta uses his plates to amplify Amuro's senses. There are 3 canisters. He focuses and fires one of the gas canisters. It is a direct hit. 47 seconds left. Amuro fires again. Another direct hit. Amuro takes aim for the final one, but an attack comes out of nowhere. Jutta uses his psychoplates to protect the Rick DJ. It is Luce in the Dagdal. He plans on killing Jutta for ruining his plans. He unleashes his funnels. Renault loses his grip and begins drifting from the ship. Agos lassos him to safety. Amuro tells Jutta to calm down and to focus on the gas first. The Jettas go to handle Luce while they save the ship. The Dagdal uses the funnels and attacks both of the Jettas. 10 seconds left. Jutta and Amuro focus. He shoots down the final gas canister. Luce shoots at Amuro and gets a direct hit. Ubaldo, who is badly injured and still just hanging out on the deck, can sense the boy. Jutta and Luce engage in battle. Some of the Light Tribe members escape from the ship, not realizing that the gas has been eliminated. Captain Laro and his crew retake the bridge of the Raw Gills to find only Saphira. She says that they left the message. Sorry about that. Everyone assumes their role on the bridge. As Jutta and Luce fight, the Jettas are still alive and come in to support. Luce finds it amazing that new types can actually be created on Moon. He tells Jutta that he is a clone. They are also battling like crazy with Minerva in his hand. She's going to have whiplash. Amuro comes in to help. The Dagdal uses an evolved version of the Adzam's net and shocks the 2 mobile suits. Everyone sticks close to not allow the funnels to get in between them. Amuro gets a new type flash. He tells Jutta to duck. The Dagdal takes a direct hit from behind. It came from the Raw Gills. It was Ubaldo's bulldog. He goes to attack Ubaldo, but Amuro slices the Dagdal's arm. Minerva goes flying, but Jutta chases her. Amuro tells Luce that new types are not tools for war. He says that he will never be able to take down Char before making his retreat. Luce contacts someone named Ilya and says that playtime is over and to move forward with another plan. Jutta gets out of the Gundam and grabs Minerva. He introduces himself again, but suddenly they hear a noise. In space? Never mind. It is a Gwasha-Class ship. The Gwasha-Class ship is Luce Crangle's flagship and base of operations for the Crangle faction and the Schlange team. It was constructed by Axis Shipyards and financed by the Crangle family. This ship is 600 meters in length and has the same design concepts as the Gwazine and the Guadon. It is equipped with many megaparticle cannons, 2 medium, 2 large, and 2 super large cannons. It also has 2 machine guns. The Gwasha is a small shuttle, like the Komsai, capable of carrying 2 mobile suit squads. This ship was said to be a part of the battle between Glimmy and Haman during the rebellion. The Gwasha approaches the Raw Gills. And that will do it for this episode. We learned that not only does the Psycho Plates make a good weapon, but it also is used to amplify emotions and senses on the battlefield. Next time, we see the return of a few Neo Zeon favorites. Moon is invaded once again, and we see the Zaku 4 S-type. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, just like the ocean and space, sometimes you have to swim back and hope for the best. Peace.